Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, and I'm just leaving my lots here in Llano, Texas, at 708 East Terrence Street, where I've been talking to a gentleman with the city of Llano for a few minutes, related to getting the water and sewer and electric hooked up. Next week, they will trench and hook up the water and electric. The water and sewer. And he was there marking for what they call locates. So the people that come out, they locate like underground phone lines, and they locate gas lines, and anything that's underground, it's called locates. And they have to come out and do some stuff before the city can do any digging. But he said they'll do that quickly, and that's the way that goes. But yeah, we're moving right along on the project. I'm very pleased. It's just a matter of I'm waiting on the builder to call me back, because I want to find out who he uses for clearing the land, because once they get the water and the sewer tap and electric available, then I have to get a plumber, master plumber, by the way, a master plumber and a master electrician to kind of get me some power to a location, a temporary location, where I can set up my Class C motorhome on the property and then be there doing stuff while we're waiting for the builder to get started, which will be several months. I mean, the builder is not planning on getting started until January, but during that interim, if I'm there, there's a lot of little things that I can probably get done. You know, I can tweak it. You know what I mean? Get the kinks out, you know what I mean? If I'm going to do some fancy landscaping, which I'm not, I'm going to do some unlandscaping so I don't have to mow grass and all that stuff. But yeah, this is Llano, Texas, and I'm in a good area, well out of the floodplain. I'm at one of the highest places in Llano, there on those two lots, and I delisted the property from the realtor. They were okay with delisting it. They hadn't had any calls anyway, because I had the price so high. So with that in mind, that took care of that hurdle. And then of course, getting the stuff hooked up was a step in making progress. And the next step, of course, will be to clear the property of all the tree. Well, one tree and a couple of small mesquites need to go, not much, and then there's some concrete curbing that's on the property from an old factory that was there. I'm going to remove 90% of that, because it's just in the way when you mow and whatever you do. And so here we go, if I don't get run over here. Yeah, so we're making progress is the main thing. We're just, like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? The longest journey begins with a single step, hopefully in the right direction. And we're just making progress, and this is the way it's done, ladies and gentlemen. So the first thing, if you're going to build a house, first thing you got to do, of course, is locate a spot. Second thing is get you some plans drawn up by an architect or somebody that draws plans. An architect would be expensive. There's also, God, I can't, the name escapes me right now, but they're draftsmen, that's it. And they'll set you up with a set of plans and what they call elevations, which basically shows the front view, rear view, side view, and the foundation view, and where the electrical goes, and the plumbing, etc. So I have all that done. But yeah, that's the next step too. And then you got to find you a builder, and start getting your. Now, like for me, I've gone ahead and paid for the water, electric, and sewer hookup. That would normally be done by a builder. They would actually take, if you get a builder, a turnkey deal, normally they take care of all that. Of course, they take care of permits and stuff. And yeah, so what I'll do now, but let me just go on through this building process. Yeah, and then of course the builder normally does all the hookups and stuff. But like me, builder's not going to start till January, so there's a lot of things I can get done. But if you were doing it on your own and the builder was handling the whole thing, then the builder would clear the property. You tell him where you want the home and and then the builder would just start building it, and you'd be selecting, floor coverings and wall coverings and roofs and stuff. And once you get through all that selection process for your hardware, your sinks and your faucets and all that stuff, it can be a very trying experience, I promise you, if you have a lot of the selections to make. I, on the other hand, have very few, because I'm building a bare bones cabin, 392 square feet, with no cabinets, none. So that's always a big issue, cabinets. And then I'm just going to have open shelving in the kitchen and a little in the bathroom, not much. Yeah, just open shelving, just where I can see where everything is, you know what I mean? And that way I don't go buy 10 cans of green beans, because I keep thinking I'm out of beans, you know what I mean? Because I can't see them behind the cabinet, door shut. If they're out of sight, they're out of mind. And so, yeah, it'd be really simple. Wall covering, I don't know if I'll go with sheetrock or not. If I can leave the open studs, I might. But the thing about leaving the studs open is that you need to cover the walls to put insulation in. If you're going to use, say, some type of fiberglass or whatever insulation, or blown-in insulation, you got to cover it, or it looks like crap on a stick. So I'll use some kind of a wall covering. I may go with some paneling stuff, whatever's inexpensive and looks decent. That's what I'm going to go with. As far as the flooring, a lot of people will go with a linoleum or some kind of fancy tile or whatever. I'm just going to use the concrete, the foundation concrete, and have them brush it and paint it, or stain it, actually is what they call it. And I may not even stain it. I'm not even sure. But if I do stain it, it's going to be a kind of adobe color, so it'll look like it's an adobe or type floor. And as far as, of course, I'll have a front porch, 10 by 20, 14 by 28, 10 by 28, covered. And yeah, so it's coming together okay. Yeah, we're gonna be okay on all that. And then how long does it take to build a home? Well, let's just say that today there was a man there clearing the property, and the builder was ready to go. Well, you're gonna have to give him probably 2 or 3 days to clear the property and get the road done and all that stuff. Probably 3 days max. Then the builder comes in, the guys set up the forms to pour the slab, the plumber comes in and does his thing, runs the PEX or PVC, whatever you're going to use. Then the electrician comes in and stubs out the electrical, and then of course the plumber stubs out the sewer too, and all that's ready. And then when it's all ready to pour and the steel's tied and all that stuff, then the concrete truck shows up and pours it, and they finish off the slab, and then they let that sit for a few days, and then here they come back. The framers show up, and they bring a lot of lumber in, 2x4s and stuff, and in a couple of days, believe me, they go pretty quick framing, and hopefully within 1 week, for me, they'll have it, quote, in the dry, which is where you want to be, guys, in the dry. Once you're in the dry, if it rains, you don't have to worry about all your lumber getting soaked and starting to warp and do all kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, once you've got that done, the framers are in, and then the roofers come in, and once it's closed in on the outside, they put the exterior on and all that stuff. That they can be working on the inside at the same time. The electrical guy comes back and finishes out with the electrical. The plumber comes in and finishes out with the inside, runs, stubs everything out, so they can close in the interior wall, or do the insulation on the inside and close in the interior walls. And then once they get all that done, that's when they normally do the cabinets. But for me, it's just going to be open shelving, which will be pretty simple. So they'll probably you'd have to allow almost 3 or 4 months for the whole process, because you run into little things here and there. These guys are doing 6 or 8 jobs at the same time, because that's how they make a living. They're not just doing mine, and so it takes a while. I would think my job would be 4 months. If we start in January, February, March, April, May, probably the end of May, or maybe before, depending on how they're able to stay on that particular job. And that's true of any home. But yeah, once it's closed in and you think, boy, we're finished, the inside work seems like forever. It's like you hit a brick wall, because the sheetrock. First you got to get the first you got to get the electrical done, the plumbing done, and then they come in, they do the insulation, whatever you choose or whatever you're going to use, and then they close it in with whatever you're going to close it in with, sheetrock or some kind of wood paneling, and you know, and after that, but it's slow. I mean, it seems like everything stops, you know what I mean, for a while, because the interior work just seems to take forever. But for me, it's not going to take very long. But for those of you that are going to have fancy homes with tile work and tile baths and all that stuff, yeah, that's going to take a while. Okay, but for me, it should go click click, and I may end up doing some of the work myself, because it's pretty simple stuff. But having said that, guys, just want to give you a heads up. We're making progress. We made a little progress today. We made a little progress yesterday, and we'll continue to just tweak, you know, take our little short steps. You know, how to eat an elephant one bite at a time. But anyway, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy anything you want anytime. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all my videos. Some of you are, some of you have. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, stand guard at the door of your mind, and enjoy your life, guys. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.